there, ref. That's he got the ball. Good afternoon, Spurs fans all across the world, and welcome back to Match Day Live as Tottenham travel up to the theatre of streams to take on one of the bastions of the English game, Man United, and I cannot wait. I'm absolutely pumped. Despite being nervous, I'm absolutely pumped, and happy Sunday to you all out there. Hopefully you are enjoying yourself as well. As you can see, the four of us have been sent out to do the Lord's work today, so hopefully the players also get out and do that work. Big game today. Super excited. Massive game in terms of, I think this is going to be a 6-pointer. It's something that we're going to be discussing. You know, I think whatever team wins this goes on and sort of makes up that ground and careers themselves up the table. Whoever loses this, I think is going to be in for a long season. But look, let's go around the panel. Let's find out how the guys are doing today. Let's see if they're good, see if they had their Weetabix and their cup of tea, and then let's crack on with discussions about this game. Jacko, how are you today?
I'm doing okay, Dave. I'm probably, weirdly, not as nervous as you are. I've gone into this game pretty confident that Spurs should be able to put in a decent performance, and hopefully just a decent performance ends up in a good result. My only tiny fear is, which I'll probably mention multiple times during the stream, is Man United do seem to be able to, even when playing poorly, even when being terrible, when the pressure is on them, they seem to turn out results, even when they don't deserve it. And we are in need of a good result off of a good performance. That's kind of been our thing, is we've had good performances, not always the result that we deserve. And Man United are a really good test for that sort of problem that we've come into. I've got some advice from Nick. I've worn the sunny super suit or the sunny swimsuit kit for today, for later, for when the streaming of the waterfall of Manchester hits down on us, Dave, and the tears of Ten Hag hit us later. So I'm looking forward to this.
What you don't see is Jack has the flippers on as well underneath the table, ready to go.
Towels under me.
When Basuma gets his next start, we need you to wear your Dembele shirt, Jack. You know, channel channel that energy into Basuma. Down to Dermo. Dermo, I probably don't even need to ask how you're feeling about today's game, but how are you, my man?
It's only Man United. Don't worry, lads. It's only Man United. You know, I'm really pumped for this game. I always loved the Man United Tottenham game. It's been one of the biggest games in the football calendar for decades, and you know, over the years there's been some classic Tottenham Man United games. Go back to the 80s when we beat them 1-0 in the FA Cup to get into a quarter final. Ozzy Ardiles with that curler in the outside the area. We've got the Gareth Bale equaliser with AVB. We've got, you know, loads of memories. And bad times as well. Teddy Sheringham being tackled by Roy Keane, put out for a season under Ozzy's first year as management. So look, there's years and years of magical moments, good and bad. But boy, if you cannot get up for a top Man United game, there's something seriously wrong with you. But all I'm going to say is, I start as I finish. Don't worry, lads. It's only Man United.
You know what? There's three things that I'll never forgive Man United for. Yeah. One was the Pedro Mendes ghost goal that I'll never ever forgive them for that. We had them on the ropes that night.
Yeah.
The second was getting Nuno sacked. I know Spurs fans probably see it as a blessing in disguise, but I don't like big clubs like that, little man and us, and dictating our decisions. But we have the opportunity to get them back today, so hopefully we do that. And then the third thing, what was the third thing? Oh yeah, that's saying, lads, it's only Tottenham. It's sort of. It's in and around Manchester all the time. You know, they don't get nervous about us coming up. They sit there and they rub their hands. And, you know, I'm hoping a nice Jose Mourinho style 6-1 thumping today. You know, that would be absolutely brilliant to put them back in their place. But, Jose, how are you, sir?
I'm fine.
After doing your hair. This guy says, I'll be there in a few minutes. I just have to go and do my hair. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Let the whole world know that I went to my stylist, and in 15 minutes they perform miracles. Yeah, I'm fine. And like I say, every time that that Tottenham play, I look forward to it. It doesn't matter who it is we're playing. I look forward to it. I'm looking forward to today's game as well. Yeah, we played the other night, and now we play again. We played Thursday, we play again. But I'm going into it more confident than I usually would do, although I'm always confident about Tottenham.
And look, I really do hope they turn up today. I think a win would get so many people back on Ange Postecoglou's side as well, which we'll probably end up speaking about to some degree. But look, let's start welcoming some people in, and I'll tell you guys everything you need to know. I'll give you some team news, and then we're going to crack on with some discussions. Dark Sung G, we'll come back to this, my brother. Hopefully you're keeping well. So your dad's happy after that 2-1 win yesterday against Wolves. We've got Faz Radfire, big up lads, my favourite channel. Andrew will prove all his critics wrong by beating Man United today 3-1. Dom Solanke with a brace and Johnson with 1. Do you know what? I'm glad someone else has seen it. Faz, I've sort of had that feeling all week. I've been saying to Jack, I have that feeling all week. Dom Solanke in for a brace today. Let's wait and see what happens, my man. But good to see you in the house. We are Spurs TV. The game is shown on USA in the States, and I have Peacock Plus, so I'll be just listening to the watch along today. But that's okay, because you guys are a good listen to. I really appreciate that, man. We try our best. You know what? We try our best to give a good mix of commentary for those who are not watching the game, plus, you know, some other bits and pieces on top. So really appreciate that, my man. I look forward to having you with us for the watch along. We've got DP. Let's be having you. Everyone hit the like now before getting distracted. Big up, DP. Really appreciate that, my man. Good to see you in the house. We've got Spurs Diehard TV. Good evening, Adrian Straka. How are you, sir? Or afternoon. How are you keeping? Wembley at 1. Good to see you. Afternoon, boys. What's the bet? And this is one of those afternoons where United click at our expense, of course, would be typical. Look, I'll be brutally honest. It doesn't really matter what form Man United are in coming to play Tottenham. They just have that knack of getting a result against us. But I will add, we've showed great resilience over the last 3 games. We've had early setbacks in the games, and we found that sort of bond, that camaraderie, that fight for each other, and we've come out with 3 wins. Hopefully that stands to us heading into this game. Wembley 1. Good to see you in the house. We've got Incy Wincy, a real test. It is a real test today. Spurs GCTV, afternoon, Jack and Dave. Let's take our momentum and relentless press to Old Trafford and come home with 3 points. Come on, you Spurs. Big up Spurs GCTV, always in here. Every video. I really appreciate the support, brother. Marks Satoshi, good evening, Jack and Dave from Melbourne. Come on, you Spurs. Big up all the Australians. Hopefully you're all keeping well. We've got Celery Agent as well. Another one from down under. Big up, lads. Good to see you, Celery. Good to see you back around. Stephen Seagull says, we get beat heavily today. Brentford should have scored 4. United will probably score more. Let's wait and see what happens. Mark Cook says, big up. Diamond Dave and the Super Jack. Come on, you Spurs. Well, big up yourself out there in Tenerife, my man. Chilling out, relaxing, margaritas and cocktails for the game. Hopefully you enjoy yourself today, Marky Cook. Ribsy, good to see you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well, Ribsy. Big yourself up. We've got Paddy Higgins afternoon, all nice. We see 7 or 8 nil today. It would be great work. Banter in the morning. Yeah, it would be good banter. There's a lot of United fans around, Paddy. Imagine we hop them today. I think there'll probably be a few calling in sick tomorrow, avoiding you, to be brutally honest with you. But I don't know whether you have to wear a uniform to work or not, but I say scratch that for a day. If we win today, go full kit. Full kit into work tomorrow. Really rub it in, Paddy. Good to see you. Brandon G, morning all. Great to see you, Brandon. And we also have this, playing so well, Ten Hag gets the sack at halftime would be the ultimate hangover cure. I suppose you had a good night last night then. We've had Jack Bloom 2024. Hey, Spurs fans, want to be happy again today. Good to see you. Yeah, look, I've been happy. I'm happy when we win. It doesn't matter who we win against. I just want to win games of football, and hopefully today's the same. Future's bright. Future's Lily White. Another one that's always here. Really appreciate the relentless support. Man United, go F yourself. I think many of us are feeling like that. We're going to take a couple more comments, and then we're going to crack on. We've got Fat Tony, morning all. Up extra early, playing some FIFA. Just put 4 past United. It's a good omen. I can't wait to play some FIFA later on, to be brutally honest with you, my man. Hopefully you're enjoying it, Fat Tony. Connor says, all right, lads. Sorry I won't be in the stream for today's game, as I'm going to be at the stadium.
Wow.
You warned you during the week. Make sure you bring your swim cap, your armbands, your rubber dinghy, full wetsuit, snorkel and flippers. Because if you've seen the footage coming out of there of the UEFA Cup game during the week, I mean, it turned into the theatre of streams. It was just one big river running right through one of the stands. It was absolutely, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. You know, this is supposed to be one of the great stadiums of world football, and it's in absolute tatters, my man. So please look after yourself up there. You know, like I said, you're prepare for a day in the water park rather than a football game. That's what I would say, Connor. Good to see you. We've got Shem Tam, afternoon, Dave and Sleepy Jack, Boss Man Jose, and the legendary Dermatronics. Hope you're both well. Need a strong performance and a win today to keep the momentum going and finally beat a big 16. Come on, you Spurs. Hopefully, Shem Tam, that would be really nice. We really need this victory. Para Miguel Escobardo, big up panel, big up everyone in the chat. Great to see you as well. Always in here supporting. We've got Josh King, come on, you Spurs. Hasn't been confirmed that Son is out. I haven't seen anything confirmed yet. I know he wasn't in the training yesterday. or in the videos. But is that us playing games? Let's wait and see. Good evening, Joff. Great to see you. As always, he's gone 3-1 today. We've got El Tal Cockerel. He's saying good morning to the mob. And then we've got Ronnie Slyum says 10 knows how to play against Ange. We will lose. And Daniel Sandoval says good afternoon. Come on, you Spurs. So great to see all of you in the house. Really appreciate support. Now, got this from Dark Zone Jesus. Come on, you Spurs. Let's beat Man United and go 4 games unbeaten against them. I hope our Dom can score against them like he did for Bournemouth last season, plus Sarr and Bentancur did for us. Jack, I'll let you take this one, my man.
I had no idea we were 4 games unbeaten against United. Shows that we
2 draws last year anyway, that's for sure. So that's 3.
Yeah, and then I guess maybe there were some other performances that we've hinted at before in previous discussions about how Spurs have played well enough against Man United, but maybe haven't gotten entirely what they deserved actually out of the game in general. And so this shows that Spurs have been knocking on the door, been creeping maybe a little bit into trying to get a good win here against Old Trafford or at Man United, and it looks like it come through to us at some point. But I do hope that we get a good performance today, Dark Sunji. I am very hopeful that the big Dom shows up for us today. We need him, and we need, I think, a whole team performance from everybody, to be perfectly honest. We need everyone to be sharp. Need everyone to be making the right decisions in the final third. Can't be making any sloppy passes, any bad decision making. Also in our own defensive third, in case they put any pressure on us. Don't want to open up ourselves for any trouble, really. But I do think we have a really, really strong chance here today. I don't rate Man United. I don't rate Ten Hag. I feel like they've just been asking for him to get sacked for a while now. He's been asking to get sacked for a while now. And we just need somebody to push them, just somebody to finally deliver that big blow. And hopefully it can be Ange and this team today. And looking forward to a big performance. And let's hope that the big Dom, like you said, puts in a similar performance to what he did last season under Iraola, when actually Bournemouth won on that big unbeaten run. And I think that's something Dave and I also mentioned in the member stream, that Dominic Solanke did have a very good game against them last season when he was still in a Bournemouth shirt. So let's hope for it, Dark Sun G. I'm confident today. I'm happy clapping, even before the game has started.
Do you know what? It probably just comes from me being beaten up by Man United down the years, thinking, oh yeah, now's the time we can go rock up there and get a result. And even when we've played some of our best stuff against them, we've sort of come out the wrong end. I've just been beaten up too many times to be overconfident heading into this fixture. But Dark Song G, I mean, what better way to spend a Sunday than 65 million down the drain? Dom Solanke scores again. I mean, and if I get to do that twice today, I mean, honestly, it's going to blow my world that I'm going to have a right day today if Dom Solanke can do that. Big up, Dark Song G. Good to see you in the building. And let's get the points today. Let's start putting ourselves further up that table. Q7, become a new YouTube member. I think he's just renewing it. Big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate the support. We've also got Mark Satashi, who has gifted 5 channel memberships. Let me see. Or I presume Jack's on that. He's looking down. So we'll come back to that, Mark. Jack will give us the names. Big up, Derek Hutchinson. Good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Big yourself up. But Jack Marks, it's Satoshi.
Yes, Zolt Don, great name, was gifted a membership by the one and only Mark Satoshi. 2 great names, Zolt Don and Mark Satoshi. Love both names. Scott Christie was gifted 1. George was gifted 1. Lily White's India was gifted 1. And Gunna was gifted 1. Thank you very much for being people that have been watching behind the scenes, been watching us in the chat, or just been participating on the channel, because it is gifted out to those. Dave did the research on this one. It's gifted out to those that have been participating and have been watching the channel a lot. So you guys are very well deserving of the gifted memberships. But thank you to Mark as well for the generosity and for spreading the love and the community of the memberships. Hopefully you guys take advantage of it, from fan shows to fan cams after the game, and plenty more content that should be coming your way for the members as well. So thank you to Mark, and really, really appreciative. And please take advantage of his generosity. There are good perks that comes with that.
Big up, Mark. The Mark Army Strong. Really love the last name as well. Really love that. Let me know whereabouts that's from, Marky boy. But really appreciate the support, and everybody, make sure you get in there and bow down to Mark. A few of these. Really appreciate that. Big up, Marky. We've got Q7 member for 1 month. Loving the content, lads. And the fact you can just have football and discussions, whether we agree or not. Let's hope for the win. And BJ proves me wrong again. Big up, Mr. 7. Really appreciate the support. No, look, first of all, glad you enjoyed the content. Me and Jack put a lot of sort of planning around it to make it happen and, turn it over as quick as we possibly can and stuff like that. So really appreciate that you are enjoying it. And in terms of footballing discussions, look, I've made no secret about it. That's what I'm here for. I ain't here to pull people apart, and I hope people aren't here to pull us apart. At the end of the day, we're all Spurs fans. We all have the one goal. We all have one thing in common. Everybody hates us, bar us. We all love each other. So I don't like the infighting. And I just won't tolerate it over here in the community or in the chat. For me, it's all about football, whether we agree, disagree. And that's the beautiful thing about life, the beautiful game. Everybody sees it through two different eyes. Everyone makes their own opinions up of it. Everybody looks for different things. And, I'm never here to sit here and tell you you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. At the end of the day, we all have opinions, and that's what it's all about, Q7. So really appreciate the support there. And look, hopefully we can keep going forward singing Kumbaya. That would be nice. Big up, though, Q7. Then we've got this from Wayne Bonner, 3-2 to the mighty Spurs today. Come on, you Spurs. 37 months of service. I feel like that's a salute to you, Wayno. Big yourself up, my man. Really appreciate support. I would do a hats off, but unlike Jose, I didn't have time to be a diva today and do my hair. So I won't be taking my hat off for you, Wayne Bonner. But really appreciate it, my man. Absolute legend. 37 months. That's insane. And then we've got Del Boy in the house. Great to see you as always, sir. We always have J Mac in here as well. As always, good to see you. And Kev Williams as well. So, guys, everything people needs to know. Of course, the game today is at Old Trafford, a.k.a. the Theatre of Streams. Kickoff is at 4:30 p.m. today. Referee is Chris Kavanagh. In the VAR room, it's Paul Tierney. So they brought out their expert anti-Tottenham referees for today. And then if you want to watch the game in the UK and Ireland, it is on Sky Sports TV. In the USA, it's on NBCSN. And in Australia, it is on Up to Sports. So I've done all the homework there for you guys. Can't do much more there. And then in terms of injuries, with Charleston, back training. Don't think he'll probably be a part of the match day squad for the next while anyway. And then Udebert, of course, out with his hamstring. Sonny, potentially 50-50, which we'll end up talking about. For Man United, Euro's out with his metatarsal. Malassi's out with the knee. Lindelof's out with the ankle. And Shaw is out with the calf. So that is the team news for today for everybody. But let's crack into it. Do you know what? Where will I go? Where will I go? Guys, last week against Brentford, we'll start with you on this, Jack, and work our way through the panel. Last week against Brentford, we put in a really sort of dominant performance, and I would say I'll go as far as saying our best performance of the season. I think that's hard to deny. Can we back that up again here today with a similar level of performance? Because that is what's going to be needed if we want to rock up to Old Trafford and get this result, especially since our away form is crap, which we'll talk about at a later point.
I think we should be able to, because Man United, they, in a way, operate in a similar way to Brentford, dude. And it's crazy that I'm even saying that out loud, right? But on a tactical type of view, you could argue that Erik ten Hag and Thomas Frank have some things in common, where they are looking to sometimes sit back, hit teams on the counter, maybe for more transitional type of attacking play. Against Spurs as well, almost every single time that you come up against Spurs, we are going to be the team with the majority of possession, with the majority of control in the game, especially hopefully in the opposition half, not in our own half. And Ten Hag in a lot of games has pretty much just sacrificed having any sort of impetus, any sort of onus in the game. He's happy to just have every single one of his players pretty much just sit back, sustain the pressure, hopefully, if they can, and then try to hurt teams, in the transition on the counter. And to a degree, while that has worked sometimes against Spurs, I think most of the time this season, we've seen us actually play pretty well against teams that have done that. It's only we've been our own worst enemy for most of the time in our own final third, or trying to, put away some of the chances that we're creating. We sometimes just don't do that. And then we leave ourselves open to be hurt on the other end. But Spurs, for the most part, and this is where I've had my frustration, Dave, and you've heard it before, is Spurs, for the most part, have played pretty well in most games. It's just that we're not getting the results technically every time that should go with that good performance. And I just feel like after Brentford, after what was still to this day, like a shuddering performance against Coventry, we're starting to tick together some wins here. The Karabag one was, I think, one that you have to take it with a lot of positives, because going down to 10 men in the manner that we did, I think could have really led to a
Why do you have to take the positives, though, Jack? Because, a lot of people would say, look, disgraceful. If we come up against a better team like we are today, they're going to take them chances. And, we're talking about a different result altogether.
Yeah, but at the same time, like coming up against 10 men, I think you're always going to be, sacrificing chances. I can't really think of many teams that play with 10 men and barely give up any chances whatsoever. And also, if you were to even look at the recent example of Arsenal versus Man City, once they went down to 10 men in the case of Arsenal, like they just gave up entirely on trying to get a goal or entirely on trying to score, whereas Spurs did not. Spurs looked like they wanted to go on and win the game 2-0, 3-0. That was the strategy. Yes, that was going to come with some risk, but for the most part, it worked out for us. And we allowed the opposition to try to break us down, to try to put away some of the chances that they were going to create, and they just simply couldn't. And then we took ours on the other end. Now that we have, hopefully, for what should be for 90 minutes, 11 men, I think we can really take the game to Man United. And if we do, again, put away some of these chances that we're creating via Dominic Solanke, via Brendan Johnson, who's very much in form right now, I think Spurs could easily go 1-0, 2 goals ahead. Yes, we'll leave ourselves again open at the back, but you can start to see that the results are starting to come with the performances, and hopefully that's the case today. I have a sneaky feeling that's the case today, and I think the Brentford win should be huge momentum carrying into this one. And it feels like it was good momentum because even the way they performed against Karabakh felt like maybe they had taken a lot of momentum from that Brentford game. And even Kulusevski's interview to other players' interviews, just the vibe has all of a sudden kind of switched or flipped a little bit at Spurs. So big test against Man United. Of course, it could all come crashing down, but I have a feeling it won't.
Look, I really do hope not. And do you know what? To your point against Karabakh, Rem Taluk says that's why we lost 4-1 to Chelsea at home. But you know what? I'm going to back Jack up here because, for years it's been the thing, you go down to 10 men, you sit in, you keep it compact and stuff like that. And it doesn't always yield results. And to be honest with you, I like the way we play when we got a man down. We still go after the ball. We still look to go at them and score goals. And I think, as they say, attack is the best form of defense. It's the way I like my football played. At least we're trying to look after our own destiny rather than sort of give the opposition all the momentum in the game and stuff like that. Okay, it didn't work against Chelsea. The last few minutes of the game we got found out. But if you actually go back and watch that game, we had some great chances before that to try and get something out of the game. And if we would have took one of them, it would have been a different story. But the game against Karabakh, I like what we done there. And I do think, again, it gives us more momentum, more togetherness, moving forward. Because when you're down to 10 men, it doesn't matter who you're up against. They have the extra man. They can knock the ball around. It's up to you to work as a team, to work for each other. And that's what they did do against Karabakh the other night. And look, whether they could put in the same level of performance against Man United, let's wait and see. You have to remember, if Son's fit today, he played nearly the full game. If Van de Ven, he'll start today, he played the full game the other night. So there might be a couple of players within the team that might take a little bit longer to get going because they might be a little bit jaded or have them extra minutes in their legs. So let's wait and see what happens in that regard today. But Dermo, today's game is the headline fixture from this weekend's Premier League action. Both teams haven't had the start they wanted. Man United are a direct rival to Spurs in the pursuit of a top 4 finish this season. Does this make today's game then a 6-pointer for both sides?
It does. It makes it a 6-pointer because it can dictate where we go from here. If you are to win the game, then that means Tottenham now are 4 games unbeaten in all competitions, and it gives us a great boost going into next weekend's fixtures. If we lose, then all the negative stuff starts coming out again. Same for Manchester United. They haven't had a great start to the season. I think it 1 win in the last 4 in the league. 2 wins of the last 5, I think, in the Premier League. The pressure's on Ten Hag after Wednesday night as well, when Man United should have won. And where I agree with Jack, there is positive to take out of Thursday night's game, because if you look at us, okay, Karabakh are nowhere near the quality of FC 20, but we went down to 10 men and we showed our mettle, where Manchester United didn't show any mettle. They just willed it away. So if United lose, then it puts more pressure on Ten Hag. It puts more pressure on the board to sack him. With us, I think it can build us more momentum. And I think that's what's important. It's all about momentum after today. Whoever wins, that will give them momentum to build on it. Yeah. But I think with us, I think we're in a better place than United. Winning our last sort of 3 games in a row in all competitions. This would be a 4th win in a row, 2 wins in a row in the league. And I think we've got the better momentum coming in here where United don't. So I think whoever wins this game, it will dictate what happens for the rest of, not for the rest of the season, but for the foreseeable future, up to Christmas at least. So it's important that we get a win today. It really is. But if United do, then they get a bit of a bounce, and then it dictates where they go between now and Christmas.
I really want us to win today and get Ten Hag sacked so that they take Southgate off the market, because, you know, if it goes the other way around and we end up being the first one to move, he's going to be Daniel Levy's wet dream. You know, he'd be the ideal candidate to come in here. Like, he is a proper club man. You know, he'll do everything he asks him to do. He'll say all the things that the owner wants him to say and stuff like that. And all it's going to do is drive people absolutely insane. So I really hope we can beat United today and get Ten Hag sacked. I'll come to Josie in just 1 second with another follow-up question off that. We've got Brett Lockhead. Oh, just quickly, Stevie Fraser, actually. He calls it Mold Trafford. I call it the Theatre of Streams. Guys, please get your wordplay in there. Give us some funny comments about Man United Stadium and stuff like that. But we've got Brett Lockhead, member for 23 months, coming up on 2 years, boys. Still love you guys. Come on, you Spurs. Well, Brett, I really appreciate that, my man. To be honest, I don't know how people don't get sick of us. You know, some of you have been around here for 2, 3, 4 years. It's been absolutely insane. Really do appreciate it, guys. And Brett, hopefully we can get the win today, my man. Come on, you Spurs. Big yourself up. And look, hopefully here's to another 2 years we can clash. Lucas said, Butters, if you've got a Lucas said in your hand, my man.
Thanks
good
for
to see
still
you in the
loving
house,
us, Brett. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Many people, you know, probably hate us by now, so I really appreciate that, Fred. Daniel says Spurs going to give Ten Hag a farewell party. I mean, that's something I'm going to ask Jose now in a second. We've got Alberto. It's my birthday today, Dave. I hope we win. Come on, you Spurs. So, guys, everybody, you know what to do. Alberto, let's pick him up. Let's make him happy. Let's wish him a happy birthday. Big up, Alberto. We don't need you to expose your age if you don't want to, my man. Big yourself up. And then we've also got Adam M has become a YouTube member. Really appreciate that, Adam. Welcome to the community. Plenty of stuff, you know, available in the community section that we put up there, members only streams and all that sort of jazz for you to feast your eyes on.
Thank you,
Really
Adam.
appreciate the support, and welcome to the Irish Hotspur community, Adam.
Thanks for grabbing a flat cap membership, Adam. We promise to provide you guys as much members content as we can. Dave and I are going to be cooking behind the scenes at some stage, get that members podcast up and going as well. So there should be plenty of good members content out for you. And thanks for getting involved, Adam. Also, if you're a fantasy guy, get involved. You know, email Dave or I. You can also just scroll back through the community post sections, and you should be able to join our fantasy league. If you have been participating in any other leagues, I think the points and everything transfer over seamlessly. So you should be able to join the fantasy league, no problem, and get in the action, get in the mess.
And I do warn you, I'm on the ball with fantasy this year, so it's going to be tough, Adam. But look, if you wanted to think you can take me down, be my guest, my man. Big up, Adam. Good to see you in the house. And everybody else that's joining in, really appreciate all you people tuning in, the likes of Seymour now, you know, K-Tib. Really appreciate Henry. Really appreciate Jay as well, all you guys coming in late. But not late, sorry. You know, at your leisure. I really appreciate that. How dare I? Who do I think I am? I'm getting too carried away now. Jose, you know, we did have Daniel. He says Spurs going to give Ten Hag a farewell party. Well, they gave Nuno one. Is it time to return the favour today?
In all honesty, my thoughts are that if Man United were to lose, well, I'm hoping that Man United do get beaten today by us. But I don't see Ten Hag getting sacked. I don't see Ten Hag getting sacked. At the very earliest, if things are not going well, maybe they'll look at it at Christmas before the transfer window in the winter. I just think that Man United making the decision they made in the summer to keep Ten Hag and offer him a new contract, they've got a bit of steel about them in what they've done by doing that instead of going for another manager. And I just think that with everything that's going on there, I think they'll still back him. Even if they get beaten today, I still think he gets backed by Man U till at least the winter transfer window, is what my thoughts are. It just goes to show, would Tottenham do the same with us? You know, would the board stick by our manager? And I hope they do as well for the foreseeable, not just after today's game, because I honestly firmly believe that we go on to win today's game. So, but no, at the end of the day, and as for a 6-pointer, I think for us, if we win the game, which I'm hoping we do win the game today, we've actually got momentum going into this game, if that makes any sense. Although Coventry was awful, and a W is a W, but the Brentford game we won differently. Karabag we won differently, so we're taking momentum into this game now. if we win today, which I'm hoping we do, because I keep saying, then we carry on with that momentum. It's too early in the season for me to call it a 6-pointer, because teams can go on runs, can't they? And we're currently on a run at the moment, and we want to continue that run. So for me, it might be too early to be a 6-pointer. What it is definitely, though, for both sides is a victory today pulls you up. I think a victory today only pulls you up 2 places in the league. Yeah, I think it only takes the teams 2 places up in the league, or Tottenham will go up 2 places. Man United, if they were to do the deed, would go up 3 places. But it's just meaning that you're 5 points behind the leaders, and you're hanging on to all those above you. But to me, I think it's too early to call. For me, my personal opinion, it's too early to call it a 6-pointer.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, by the way, let me know who scored. If it's
something
Liam,
like
if
Sorry,
it's
Dave,
one
can I
second,
add
if it's
something? Sorry,
yeah, 1 second, Dermo, I'll come to you. Let me know who scored this goal, my man. If it's Liam Delap, I'm a prophet. But go on, Dermo.
Yeah, I'm just saying about Ten Hag and him, Man United backing him. I
Liam
think
Delap has
United,
scored,
Oh, I'm a prophet. I'm a prophet. Sorry, Dermo, go on.
and Jack Clark's got the assist.
Nice.
I think United will come to a point, if they lose today, that they will have to make a decision one way or the other, because United, even under Ratcliffe, will not want to be where they are. And I know I've got a few Man United fans that are Ten Hag out. They're out in the summer, and they really do not want them there. So I think this keeping Ten Hag to the winter window, I don't think it will happen. I think if he loses today, I think his job is in severe jeopardy. Because I think Ange's more secure in his job than Ten Hag is. That's just what I want to say. Sorry, Dave. I think
Interesting. No. Andrew's more secure than Ten Hag is right now. Guys in the comments, controversial from Dermo. Let us know in the comments. Do you agree or do you disagree with that? Interesting comment there. Let us know. I think that's a fair comment to make. We might actually go around the houses on that one now in a second, Dermo. But DJ AK says Old Trafford's got more leaks than my local greengrocers. Andy Seymour says I've watched Man United. They created a lot of chances and haven't put them away with our high line. We are always vulnerable, so I can't see a win. Hopeful for a draw. I reckon 2-2. On that, I do get what you're saying. I think when you look at Tottenham and Man United, I think it's either XG or, chances created. We're actually up there in like second or third and fourth, side by side in that table. But, we both have that sort of problem is what I would say. So, just as United create chances, so do we. I'm just hoping, Dom Solanke coming to the fore, Johnson coming to the fore if Son starts tonight. I'm hoping that, we've got 3 players up there, Madison as well, players brimming with confidence, and that stands to us today, Andrew. Big yourself up, but I do get what you're saying, and that also makes me a little bit nervous, my man. Really appreciate the support, lad. We have this from Envy Eddie. He says he's gifted 5 Irish Hotspur memberships. Wow, really appreciate that, Eddie. Top guy. Jack's going to find out who they've gone to now. I'll move this on then. We'll go to Nick's and we'll come back to Eddie.
I keep going on mute. Sorry about that, Dave. The 5 memberships have gone to Christoph Cavalets. Great name. Thank you to also Edward. Absolute legend. Really, really generous. And Giorgio. Big up to Rich as well. Matt and Oz. And they've been all gifted memberships. And KM as well, if I did not mention KM. Thank you for watching the channel as much as you guys have. And then you've been rewarded by the one and only Edward, Eddie the Eagle. And thanks to Edward for spreading the love of the community, spreading the love of the memberships. He's been a great ambassador of the fan shows. He's been very good to us over on the Big Up Network, formerly TIFO, with watch-alongs, just keeping us company, just being a good guy, being a good friend, and I think just being a good ambassador of the community, because Edward's a really nice guy, doesn't, shy away from his opinions or anything like that, but I think he puts them across in the right manner and just kind of has a good vibe about him. And so, Edward, good ambassador of this community. Thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate you. Hopefully you're having a good Monday. Sadly, not a Sunday. The weekend is now over for you, but hopefully you get your week started in the right manner with a win against Man United. Big up to Edward.
Big up, Eddie. It's it's early hours for you. What are you doing? You should be getting some rest. Big up, Eddie. Really appreciate the support, buddy, and hopefully you're keeping well. Get FIFA, like I said. We've got Lazy 8 as well. Says Fergie's Falls. I mean, that's not a bad name. Not a bad name for the stadium whatsoever, Nick. We've got Mo Trafford, Fergie Falls. People saying there's more leaks than the grocery store. I like that one. People in the comments, let us know your thoughts on that one, and also get yours in. Big up, Nick. And by the way, everyone's jealous of Jack's jersey collection. I think you're going to have to start putting in the chat and letting people know where they can find this sort of array of collection of jerseys. Nick, big yourself up, my man, and really appreciate support. By the way, I need your help as well, because on the watch along, you know, Jack's sitting back there. Jack looks like a midget and I look like the Green Giant. You know, I'm so far forward. So we need to even that out a little if we can, Nick. Really appreciate the support, buddy.
Just
big yourself up.
Quickly as well, to add to Fergie's Falls, I feel like if Daniel Levy were the owner of Manchester United, he actually would take advantage of that leaky roof, and he probably would rent that out as like a
It'd be a
water
tourist
slide.
attraction.
Yeah, it'd be like a water slide or something, you know, for Spurs fans or for Man United fans to be able to enjoy. It wouldn't just be left as just a leaky roof. He would try to find a way to get some profit out of it as well.
It'd be one of them big water slides where you have people at the top, you sit on a little rubber dinghy and
inner
push
tubes,
down.
yeah, the inner tubes at the top, get the lifeguards
Exactly.
out.
He already built our stadium, looked at one end of it and said, yeah, that's grand. We can have people, you know, climbing down the back of that. That's perfect. Be at Old Trafford, you know, God knows. That'd probably be ideal for him. He'd turn it into Walt Levy, you know, absolutely brilliant. But big up, Lazy, yeah, really appreciate support, my man. And we've got this from DJ Samuel, Manchester robbery. You know, hopefully that would be absolutely great today, DJ. You know, just putting on the balaclavas. I'd argue you probably do need them, protect your face and your hair from the leaks in the stadium and stuff like that. But it would be great to pull off the great robbery today. You know, that would be absolutely brilliant. But some would argue it wouldn't be a robbery. It'd be well deserved, DJ Samuel. So big yourself up, my man. And really appreciate support, and hopefully you are keeping well. I will get round to ringing you this week, buddy. Big yourself up. And guys, people, please give DJ a lot of love in the chat. Going through a bit of a difficult time at the minute, so make sure you show him a lot of love. Big up Davy Jones. Good to see you in the house as well. Hopefully you're keeping well. He says they always bring it against us. 100%. 100%, no matter what form, like you say, they always turn up. But look, you know, we like to try and have a bit of fun with it before the game. You know, I am nervous, don't get me wrong, as much as I'm ripping the piss. I'm nervous. I've been beaten up by them. I'm surprised by Jose's and Dermot's confidence, because they've been beaten up by Man United longer than what I have. But look, it's the beautiful game. Anything can happen. Big up, Davy Jones. Good to see you. But guys, I want to know, that was an interesting comment from Dermot. You know, who is... you know, is Ten Hag under more pressure than Ange Postecoglou? Because Ten Hag has delivered trophies for Man United. We'll start with you, Jack.
I don't think he's under more pressure, or I think he is under more pressure than Ange Postecoglou, mostly because the spotlight of Manchester United is, at the end of the day, far bigger than the one at Tottenham Hotspur. And even despite him winning trophies recently with Ten Hag, hasn't really meant much of anything, it looks like, to the Manchester United fan base, or at least from what we can tell from the media and whatnot with the Manchester United fan base. They do seem to be, for the most part, whenever I listen to Talk Sport or whenever you sort of get a vibe from the general fan base of Manchester United, they do seem mostly Ten Hag out. And that's because they seem to think that the wins in the cups have been kind of more of a fluke, have been kind of just by randomness or just by sheer luck. And yes, they've been the recipients of them, and they're happy to celebrate those in the temporary moment. But they have felt like the writing's been on the door for some time now, or on the walls with some time now with Ten Hag. And a lot of it has to do with style of play. A lot of it has to do with the games that they do end up dropping points in, the games that they do end up not really getting what they feel like they should get, which is, you know, wins against, they drew against Crystal Palace recently, drew against Twente. They get smacked up by Liverpool. But this has been happening for a while now under Ten Hag. And I think, you know, majority of their fan base, as well as the media, has pretty much been fed up with it at this stage. And I don't think that he can last that much longer unless he really starts getting some real wins under his belt. Technically, a win against Spurs, I think, would be one, because we are a big enough club and we do play a certain style of football that I think Ten Hag would probably get a tiny bit of credit back in the bank if he did get a win against us. But if he loses to Spurs, I think that's pretty much the signal of the end for him, because they've been talking about sacking him for a long time now at this stage. And you just wonder when they're eventually going to pull the trigger, because majority of the fans do not seem happy with him. And they've been calling for someone that actually can deliver results, but also deliver a much more static style of play. It's crazy to hear that from Man United fans, but they've been actually calling for people like Ange Postecoglou to come to Spurs, because they think that he actually at least identifies a certain principle, identifies a certain style of play that they think they can get behind. Whereas with Ten Hag, they still, 3 years later, practically have no idea what the guy is still trying to do out there. And I'd argue that for those reasons that he's probably under more pressure. And just because when you drop points at Man United, I mean, that is just far bigger news than when it happens at Spurs.
No, fair. IrishHotspur. We got this from Ed M. He says, Levy's cold shower holistic healing. That's what it'd be advertised as. Absolutely spot on. That's absolutely cracked me up. I nearly wet myself, reading that one. Big up, Ed M. I'm going to move on, though. I'm going to ask the boys a slightly different question than that. And we'll move on to you, Jose. And I guess, Dermot, you coming off the back of it, we'll fall back to Jacko again. Tottenham did endure a slow start to the campaign with only one win in our first 4 league games. However, Spurs seem to be gaining some momentum now after 3 wins on the bounce. Would a win today be the validation that maybe the skeptics need, that this project can work and that this is truly moving in the right direction? Because, a lot of it with Postecoglou, it was like, look, we don't pick up results against the big teams, the big 6. We don't win away from home. If he does get that win today, is that maybe what the people needed to sort of get that buy-in again behind the project? We'll start with you, Jose.
I think every game's important. It's not just Man United today. It's every game's important to
we know that,
forward.
but in the context of where we've been this season and what's gone on, Jose.
Well, with the fan base went clippity clop and went mad because we lost against Arsenal. At the end of the day, you watch the games that we've played before the Arsenal game and with the Arsenal game. It's not that we've been playing badly. We just haven't been putting the ball in the back of the net. We've been playing well enough, just haven't put the ball in the back of the net. However, we've turned that round. We've started scoring goals, and that's what it's all about. Today at Man U, you create the chances, but what you need to do is you need to take the chances that you create. Maybe not. I'd love to say we take all of them. Because we do create a fair few chances. I'd love to say we take all of them, but we take enough that's sufficient to win the game today, because that's been our problem. Our problem's either been that the fan base will turn around and say, don't think he's settled on his midfield 3. Don't think he's settled on his forward 3. But at the moment, there seems to be a bit, to me, in my eye, there seems to be a bit of consistency there at the moment with the selection, with the players that are playing, and with the chances that are being created. And now we started to add the goals to it, which we haven't done in the past. So going to today's game, look, for today's game, I think that, like I say, I never ever worry about what the other team have got. I mean, I've seen people in their comment section already, and I hear this quite a lot from people. Yeah, but they got 2 wingers and they're going to expose our high line, blah, blah, blah. I hear this all the time. Every team we play is going to have 11 footballers to start the game. It doesn't matter who we play against. They're all going to have 11 to start off the game. Players, that is. Not including 12 and 13 if they've got the referee and linesman on their side. I'm just talking about players alone. And every team is going to have their strengths and their weaknesses. Why do we keep talking about everyone else? Let's talk about ourselves. Let's big ourselves up. We've got strengths. We've got strengths that opponents can't figure out. We've got strengths that opponents, dread to play against. At the end of the day, we need to big up, for the American side, big up ourselves, so to speak, when we're going to play matches, whether it's home or away. At the end of the day, people need to worry about Tottenham Hotspur, not us worry about other people. So, at the end of the day, for me today, I don't worry about what Man United have got to give. To me, it doesn't bother me what the starting 11 is for Man United. What bothers me is what we actually do. And for me, I've seen consistency in selection, and I've seen consistency not only in selection, as I said, but beyond selection now. I've seen consistency that we're starting to take some of them chances that we weren't taking in the first. Well, apart from Everton, we took the chances. But if you look at Leicester, you look at Newcastle, and you look at Arsenal, we probably didn't take the chances that we created. We didn't take many at all. But beyond that, in the last 3 games, we've taken the chances. And we didn't get many at Coventry. So our conversion at Coventry, albeit lucky, was very good because we scored 2 goals and we didn't create much at all. So, so the conversion rate is turning into the right direction. Last season, this is what we were screaming out for. All of us last season, we were pulling our hair out. And I needed a hairstylist a lot last season because I was pulling my hair out so much that we weren't finishing off the chances that we created, or we weren't creating enough chances, and we'd win 1 game and then be poor in the next 3 or 4. I can see consistency this season. So to me, we go into the game today, and I think that as a team, we should be absolutely full of confidence. And as supporters, we should be full of confidence as well for our team.
No, look, I think the thing is, though, with that, it's results that breed confidence. You know, we can sit here and go, yeah, unwavering confidence, doesn't matter the results. It doesn't achieve anything. You know, at the end of the day, when a team aren't performing, I think it's right to analyze it and stuff like that. But it's results that will bring confidence within this project, confidence within the players, you know, confidence within the fan base. It's a results-based industry at the end of the day. We're all angry when we lose, and we're all absolutely happy when we win. Hopefully we come out that side of it today. Hopefully we do win. But I do think a big win tonight against a Big Six team, you know, away from home would really make people maybe stand up and take a little bit of notice, or put people on notice again, and maybe start to look at us a little bit differently. You know, was that slow start just what it is, a slow start, getting back together, getting into the routine of things, and now we're going to go on a very consistent sort of run? I think today will tell us everything we need to know. Or some people will argue you're playing against three crap teams. You know, you expect them sort of results against them teams. It's nothing to get carried away about. It's this sort of game today that we're going to judge it on. Dermo, where are you at with it all right now? Big win today. Does it validate this project?
I think, look, I know what Ange can do because I've seen what he's done before at Celtic, and I think this is where I have the advantage. And before anyone keeps going on, the Celtic league is a shit league, well, you still got to beat everyone up there to win the league. You still got to beat what's in front of you. Maybe the standards are slightly different, but you still got to beat, and you got to beat them other lot from Glasgow, who I refuse to mention, to win the league. So Ange knows what it is to win. And yeah, we all were super happy with the start we made last season. But I never lost faith with Ange, even in the bad times, because I know what he can do. And look, we were never going to have the same start as last season, this season. And it takes time for players to get back into it. After a long time, don't forget, we've had the European Championships. We've had the Copa America. So players are more tired than they normally would be. And it takes time for players to get into that groove again, get into the Ange way of playing. And I don't subscribe also that we've been playing shit teams. The Premier League is not an easy league to win. You have to beat what's in front of you. And we have been playing well. We just have not been taking our chances. That's been the biggest problem. If we took our chances, we could be 5 out of 5. But we just didn't take our chances. So
what would you say to Timothy here then, Dermo? Only teams worried about Spurs are bottom half.
I don't agree with that.
Why?
I don't, because every team should be worried about Tottenham. Every team should be worried about every team. The Premier League is not an easy place to play. You have to get your objective to start off that season is to get to 38 points to stay in the Premier League. That is your objective. That's Man United's objective. It's from top to bottom. No team has a divine right to play in the Premier League. You have to beat what's in front of you.
Do we not have a divine right? We've never been relegated.
We have been relegated. We've never been relegated.
Not from the Premier League.
No, but we have been relegated. We have faced relegation. We got relegated back in 77. We didn't.
Yeah, but we're talking about the Premier League. You said no team has a divine right to be in the Premier League. I said to Tottenham, we haven't been relegated from it.
Yeah, well, so the rest of the teams haven't been relegated, but no team has a divine right to be in any league. You have to beat what's in front of you. And Ange is getting to a point where he's getting his philosophy across, getting the players that we think he wants in, and getting to play the Tottenham way. We were tearing our hair out under Conte and Mourinho, shouting, we didn't want a back three. We wanted a back four. We get a back four and we start playing well. Everyone wants a back three again. You know, you can never. But do you know what I mean? It's fans are fickle. All fans are fickle. All fans have All fans are flip flops, one way or the other. But I believe in what Ange is doing, and I believe he will bring us to the promised land. I believe he will take us to success. Now, I may die by that sword by being right, or I may die by that sword being wrong. But I've always backed Ange from the start to the day Ange leaves. I will back him 100%. And I feel we've had a poor start to this season, but we could have a great run now to the end of the season. Who knows? Who knows what can happen? Football's a funny old game. Jimmy Greaves He used to say that years ago. When I was a kid, he said football's a funny old game. It is a funny old game. But Ange will get it right. We need to back him. We need to back the team and back the manager. Because we can beat anyone on our day. Anybody can beat anyone in the Premier League. You look at Newcastle yesterday, got a draw against Man City. Man City all conquering Man City with Haaland. They lose one player. They get a draw up at Newcastle. You look at other teams in the league. You look at other teams. It is the Premier League's the most unpredictable league from second downwards in the world. And I just feel we will get it right. And I know a lot of people probably won't agree with me and say to me I'm talking absolute nonsense, but that's how I feel. And I feel Ange will get it right. I've always been Angian. I continue to be Angian. And I'll be Angian to, as I said, I'll die on my sword. Either I'll be successful or I'll be proven right that he won't win us anything, or I prove them right we've won something. But that's how I feel. And I'm sorry for rabbiting.
No, look, that's fair enough. What I would say is, and then I'm going to throw a slightly different question at Jack. To answer my own question, what I would say is just quickly is, I think if we don't win today, we have to realize, and you have to look ahead at the fixtures we've got coming up. We've got Brighton. Yeah, you can say they got slapped up by Chelsea, but they also took a point off Arsenal this season and also beat Man United. You've got Aston Villa coming up. You've got West Ham coming up. You've got Man City coming up, after the international break. So we do have a tough run of fixtures. And I think when you look at this United game in isolation, I think if we don't pick up maximum points here, which we're owed, by the way, and they have to because some of the stupid points they dropped earlier on the season, I think all the pressure on Ange Postecoglou comes back out again with an international break coming up. If the Brighton game doesn't go right, I think many Spurs fans will be bloody nervous over that international break. Some will say, look, Spurs need to act. Some will say, no, Spurs need to continue to give this guy time. But I think a win today would alleviate all of that pressure, put a pin in it completely. So I think we have to go out here and bring home them 3 points today. Look, I don't even want a draw out of this. United are absolutely there for a taking. And if we want to start putting ourselves above clubs like this and concrete putting ourselves above clubs like this, we have to take advantage of their weakness. They've took advantage of our weakness, and all them big clubs have took advantage of our weakness in years gone by and have had no excuses for doing so. We have to now take the destiny into our own hands, start capitalizing on their weakness and going and beating them. A win here today, I think, would really kick our season into momentum. And the good thing is our backup brigade have got, or not, that's rude. The fringe players, they got game time against Coventry and looked even better a bit against Qarabağ. So, it seems like if a win today would more or less bring everything together. And I think going forward, then we won't be as afraid to make rotations because then it seems like we're at a point where everybody's at it. So I do think today is very, very important. But different question to you, Jack. Kulusevski was interviewed and he has come out and said, when you win games, everything makes sense and things become easier. As much as fans and players might be behind the Ange Postecoglou project, how important are winning streaks like this? Should even the strongest backers of Ange Postecoglou consider that winning games is an important part of the job? It's not all about style of football and stuff. It is about winning games.
Yeah, I found Kulusevski's quote very interesting, and I'm not sure how to even answer it totally myself because it did give me kind of pause for thought because it validates to a degree what I have felt before in the past, where even when you are playing well, it does feel like sometimes you do just need results in order to just confirm that for everybody. It's kind of like if you feel like you're doing the right thing, it is nice to see physical signs of reward, physical signs that things are in fact working. When you feel like you're playing well, but you're not getting those, you have to maintain the belief, I guess, somehow. You have to retain that hope and that optimism that eventually things will start to make sense. Eventually things will start to come your way. And that even comes from Kulusevski's quote, right? That he said, now that we're winning games, everything starts to make sense. And I find that kind of interesting with how it goes hand in hand. It's good to have, of course, good performances. You want to feel like you're playing well. You want to feel like you're dominating games. You want to feel like you deserve to be the team that should be winning. But then also you need to get the win at the end as well, because if you don't get the win, then there are going to be doubters and there are going to be people within the camp that are going to maybe question things or even just be slightly hesitant in the game where they feel like, oh no, we're in this situation again. And, how do we get out of this? And it feels like Spurs, as well as just any team in general, they do need to have that validation where the wins can come with good performances. And we've had good performances. We just haven't necessarily had all the wins to come with it. And I did find that interesting from Kulusevski. And I think that shows that, yes, to a degree, while even if you are the biggest backer of Ange in the world and, you're his number one love child, you do have to also look at, results as well. And that's even why certain managers stay in a job. Certain managers, for example, Ten Hag, have stayed in a job for just getting results at certain times when they really needed them, regardless of the good performance or not. And I think Kulusevski's quotes really gave me a bit of pause for thought to a degree about that, because I don't like to feel validated on sometimes certain of my points. I don't need to feel validated, but it did kind of validate my suspicion that no matter how well you're playing, no matter how many times you say after a game, "Oh, but we played well," you need to have a result every now and again. And Spurs have started to pick up the results, and now everything makes sense again. Now everything feels easier. Now we're going into games more confident than we were before. And so I just found that interesting that Kulusevski more or less confirmed that to some people, that results are important as much as style of play is important, as much as the principles of good attacking football are important. Winning is also important. And to get wins like in the manner that we did, I think has been very good for this team.
No, 100%. And look, winning is important. It's also important for the players. If you're asking the players to do stuff and they keep going out there and getting bet and stuff like that, you always have to look at them about effort and stuff like that as well. But eventually they start to lose buy-in and belief into what they're being asked to do and carry out there. But you win games, the players are fully behind it. They'll eat up every sort of message that you give them. So, winning games is important. But it's also important to recognize that you do have to go through some tough times to be able to get there, especially with the way we operate as a football club. And hopefully, there's a bit of common sense coming together from both sides on this. But guys, we are going to take a quick minute before we get in and talk about the Sun situation. I have a fear it's not going to be good news for us today, but I'm going to take this moment to plug our sponsorship, Manscaped, who are partners with us this month, supporting all of us Spurs fans out there, and really appreciate the collaboration. And basically, NordVPN are here to help you guys save money. For the price of a cup of coffee a month, you can basically have your VPN. That allows you to basically put yourself into any location around the world. And whatever it is you're shopping for over here, it's more so trying to find all the Spurs games and stuff like that. It helps you basically get all your streaming platforms, whatever you're shopping for, at cheaper prices. Mainly the football. I can sit myself, not that Jack wants me to, but I can be his neighbor. I can say, right, Jack, get me onto some of these streaming platforms, help me save some money, and I can sit there, pretend I'm his neighbor, even though I'm sitting here in Ireland watching the games, and I'm saving money because coming up to Christmas, inflation, it's expensive time of the year. Everyone has to get your heating in and stuff like that. It's really expensive time of the year. And we could all do with saving a few bucks. And NordVPN are here to help you with that. Basically, you just get on your VPN, you change your location, and you can get cheaper packages and all that great jazz. But not only that, holidays, flights, etc., and all of your bank details are completely secure on it. NordVPN have taken very good care of that. Security is massive for NordVPN. And then lastly, guys, it's great for the family. You buy one, you can put it up to 10 devices. A lot of things lately, if you buy one and you try and share it out, it doesn't allow you to do it. But NordVPN are going a different direction altogether, which is great to see. And it allows you up to 10 devices. So not only you can use it, your missus, the kids, if there's any programs they want to watch in the USA, Australia, I'm a big fan of them. I can't get them over here, but I use my NordVPN, and that's how I watch them all. So, guys, make sure you hop on it. Jack, anything else you want to say?
I just say it can allow you to be able to watch Spurs games, which is just crazy. Not everyone in the world can be able to watch Spurs games, every single one. Sometimes you'll run into the 3 p.m. blackouts, or maybe certain streaming service that you might be paying, a lot of money for just doesn't end up showing that game. Whereas in other countries, it will be shown on a regular basis. In fact, even in the USA, for some reason, I don't get it, but for some reason, the Yanks seem to have full control of what's going on over here with the Premier League and with any of the games that Spurs play in. I never have to worry about missing a game. So if you want to be in that position, maybe move yourself over to America. You don't need to pack up your bags. You don't need to pack up your suitcases. Just grab the NordVPN and use our code FLATCAP. You can buy a 2-year plan, get 4 extra months free, and then you don't have to ever stress about missing a Spurs game again, or have to go on any dodgy websites or anything like that. Just enjoy, sit back, relax, and just watch games in the comfort of knowing that you're saving money, like Dave said, but then also you get to be able to watch any of the games that Spurs play in. And nowadays, it's all being spread across so many different packages, so many different streaming services. There's not just one that ends up doing all of it for you. So it's good to have, I think, the VPN for that reason, so that you don't have to worry too much about where you're getting the game from. And then lastly, technically, it's made me a better content creator. Recently, I've been able to make Twitter Reacts better because I'm able to just switch over to a different country in case I need to show a highlight or something like that from the game, because it can end up being blocked by maybe whatever country that I'm in at the time, and it allows the Twitter Reacts to improve. And even my own football nerdiness has improved, because now anytime that I need to watch Karabag versus, Dinamo Zagreb in the Europa Conference League or something like that, I can do that no problem. So NordVPN, thanks to them for saving you money on the streaming services, but then as well, just making me a better content creator and improving things like the Twitter Reacts.
No, big up NordVPN. And some may have heard me mention a little word slip in Manscaped. The reason why I mention that is because I did use my VPN to put myself in Canada to get cheaper prices for my Manscaped products. So guys, that's what NordVPN does. Make sure you click on the link here in the chat. It's pinned or in the description below. Get over there, check out the best value package for yourself, and type in the code FLATCAP and get your deal. Like I said, price of coffee a month for the sake of security, no buffering on your streams. I mean, what more do you want? It's as cheap as chips, as they say over here in Ireland. So make sure you get on it. But look, let's keep this moving. And we get on to about Sonny. I believe I'm just going to double confirm it, but it looks like that Sonny will not make today's game, which makes it a little bit harder for us to do and get this victory today. So I want to know if you guys, if not Sonny, then who do you want to see on the left-hand side tonight? I'll go first quickly. I have a feeling you're going to see Basuma, Bentancur, Madison through the middle, with Kulusevski going out to the left-hand side. Some people are saying Mikey Moore might get his opportunity today. We'll start with you on this one, Dharma.
I just had it confirmed as well through my own people that I use that Son is out as well. So you and me are probably on the same as that, Dave. Do you know what? I'm going to be a bit radical here. Probably a bit out of it. I'm going to put probably Brennan Johnson on the left and put Kulu on the right.
Why?
Well, Johnson's played there before. Johnson's played on the left before in a few games.
Score 3 and 3 off the right, though. Do you really want to move him?
Well, do you really want to start Werner?
No, but Kulu's left-footed. Why can't he play on the left?
He can do as well. Yeah, you can put Kulu on the left as well. But that's the point. You can put either on the left or right. So that's what I do. I wouldn't start Werner at all. But, Werner probably will start. But, yeah, I would put either Kulu or Johnson on the left and put the other on the right. So that's what I do.
Fair enough. Jose, what would you do today? What do you want to see then if Son is out?
Jose,
you're on mute
there.
Sorry, if we're going to go for consistency that I was talking about earlier, then it's got to be a like-for-like replacement, in the sense of Son comes out and somebody has to go and fill that position. For me, they've got all the technology under the sun, these clubs, but you can find out a lot about Timo Werner in about 3 minutes. If you look at his highlight reel for the last 3 or 4 years, in 3 minutes you'll work out Mr. Werner. But with Mikey Moore, you're not going to have much on Mikey Moore, because Mikey Moore hasn't been playing in the first team. And in all honesty, everyone says that Ange plays youngsters and Ange does this and Ange does that. Everyone said the same about other managers we've had, and we only ever seem to play youth or young players if we're forced upon it, and it is the umpteenth last resort. That's the only time we ever bring them in, and that's how we fell kindly with Harry Kane. But with Mikey Moore today, give Mikey Moore a chance. I'd let him have a go. You've got him and Nwamweri, who's at Arsenal, who are both in the England under-17s. One wears the 10, one wears the 11. They're both called generational talents, although Mikey Moore, no disrespect to the other lad, is more highly thought of than him at the moment, yet he's getting first-time minutes at his club. It's about time we gave this kid a chance. You can't do any worse. I mean, if we're looking on the eye and you're looking at Werner and you're looking at this young chap, he can't be any worse. And what he offers you is that you give the ball to him and it's unpredictability, fearlessness, and he likes driving at people. Mikey Moore, if you've watched Mikey Moore play, he drives at people. And sorry, I'm asking if you've watched him play. You have. You've seen him extensively. But you know the score. He drives at people. If he's playing on the left, he'll run right across to the other side and take people with him and drive past them all. And he creates things. I'd prefer, for consistency, I'd prefer to have and to continue to have the holding six, which I prefer Bentancur in that position at the moment. I prefer him to Biss, although Biss hasn't done badly this season. And then I want to see Kulu and Madders play in the 2/8s or the 8-10. I want to continue with that. Johnson's 3 out of 3. Dom's 2 out of 2. So then for me, it's just fill the hole where Son comes out. And for me, I'd love to see Mikey Moore play. And
You know
that's
what?
where I'm at with it.
I'd absolutely love to see Mikey Moore get his debut today and go out there and play, because I actually think this kid is going to surprise so many people when he eventually does get his minutes. But because it's Old Trafford away from home, I don't think Postecoglou's going to make that call, to be brutally honest with you. I know Adrian makes a good point about Johnson got his start away at Arsenal, but Johnson had a year of Premier League experience under his belt before, he signed for Tottenham. So that's probably why, Ange Postecoglou wasn't afraid to throw him in the deep end. I think today, I see a lot of different ones, Jack. People are saying put Bergvall in the cam, move Maddison out there. Some people are saying Mikey Moore. I personally think it's just going to be Kulusevski, Solanke, Johnson. I don't think you're going to see too much shift. I think the extra body then will be brought into the midfield. What do you think is going to happen?
Who's the extra body, Dave?
I think Basuma will start in the number 6, Bentancur will come in the number 8, and Maddison then will start in the number 10 with Kulusevski going out to the left-hand side. I think with Bentancur in there as well, it gives us maybe that bit of extra defensive solidity that maybe some people were looking for, heading into this game, because I was weighing it up myself, on my predicted lineup. Do we start Kulusevski because it is a bit more attacking? He does work back. He does, he is good defensively, but his main priority is always forward focus. Bentancur would give you, that bit more defensive solidity. Sarr would give you that bit more defensive solidity. So, and I don't think Sarr will start because of the energy that he expended against Karabag at the week. So, for me, I think it'd just be simply Kulusevski comes in on that side. But Jack, left wing, what do you think is going to happen today?
I'd expect that Ange Postecoglou will. I'm really tossed up on whether he'll actually go with Timo Werner, because he's very loyal to certain players. And you and I have made that point before, though, Dave, that he's been very loyal to Brennan Johnson when he was going through a little bit of a bad spell and probably he needed to be taken out of the firing line. He's clearly been loyal to Timo Werner, at least in some regard. So I am fearful that he would go with Timo Weenie, but I am going to retain the hope that it will be some version of Kulusevski, Johnson, and Solanke. I'm not really sold on moving Brennan Johnson over to the left, but I actually wouldn't put it past Ange Postecoglou to try that. I could actually see why Dermot did mention that, because it seems like something that Ange might do. He does tend to like his wingers to be maybe a tad more kind of inverted, or he wants them to cut inside. He wants them to be able to use both feet, and if they need to cut inside, they can. And technically, that's the case if you could move Kulusevski out to the right and then Johnson to the left. But I do think that Kulu should move into the forward line. I think that would help us out more. He offers something different to Sonny. Sonny's going to be a huge, huge miss for us. He's someone that is a big game player for us. He's someone that when you do have that maybe early chance in a game, and sometimes games can fall this way where it's hard to even tell who the better team is. But when you have a world-class player in the forward line and that first chance comes to your side and you get it to someone like Sonny, most times, you expect him to put it in the back of the net, and that can give you that early bit of confidence, can allow you to maybe run away with the game if hopefully. And I think having someone like Sonny in the team is going to be a huge miss, but we need to, as best we can, retain the quality that at least we do have in certain players and not lose out on quality. And I think we would lose out on quality if we did bring in someone like Timo Werner. I could see things starting to become a bit more confused. Attacks break down, build up breaks down. So in order for that to at least stay to the best high functioning, ability that we can have, I think you have to move Kulusevski to the left, or at least into the forward line, and then go with what you said: Basuma, Bentancur, because they both have been playing well. They kind of both deserve to play in some regard, but it's hard to say whether they have really nailed down the number 6 as their own, but you could go for both. Pop Montessori did play well in the last game. I wouldn't put it past him to put Sarr back into the team, but I would go for Bentancur Basuma, and then you go for someone like Madison and the number 10 role. And hopefully with Madison in the team, he can take over for Sonny in that goal scoring department a bit more. If you give Madison a bit more freedom, you have someone like Bentancur and Basuma back there to help mop up defensively. Madison will still have to put in a shift defensively, but maybe he can get away with having a bit more license to go forward, a bit more license to hang out in the final third and see if he can bag himself a goal. Because if Sonny's not there to shoot from distance, to cut inside, have a crack at the goalkeeper, then I think Madison is going to have to take on some of that responsibility in a game like this. But I'm going to go for Kulusevski, Sonny, Kulusevski, Solanke, and Johnson for this one in the forward line. But more I could see coming in the second half. I don't know if Ange would put that pressure on him in the first half.
Yeah, no, two things there. I think with Werner, if he starts Werner, he's trolling the Spurs fans. I don't care what anybody tells me after that. It's really going to test my limits with the guy. Learn your lessons from Newcastle away last year. Timo Werner had a massive opportunity. I think he had 2 massive opportunities in that game to score, and that could have changed the tide of our running for the season, and he missed both of them. He cannot start Timo Werner today, and I'm hoping the fact that he got very few minutes against Karabakh, sort of is a good omen, and he doesn't start him today. In terms of Mikey Moore, look, I don't think he will start today, but the good thing is he's going to be on the bench again. And if you keep being on the bench, eventually you are going to get your moment to shine. So I think that's a good thing when it comes to Timo Werner. But guys, let's move into the midfield then, and let's start with who plays the 6, who plays the 8, because you've got 3 options there realistically. You've got Sarr, you've got Bentancur, and you've got Basuma. Let's start with the 6. Who's better suited in that number 6 role? Basuma or Bentancur? And people in the chat, please get in your comments on who you think is better and why. And also, shamelessly, don't forget to smash that like button. I know you get engrossed in this great, engaging content that we produce, but at some point, you have to see the bigger picture like Ange Postecoglou does when he's managing Tottenham Hotspur. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe if you are new, because if you want to comment, you have to subscribe. So make sure you get on that. And guys, keep supporting your lovely boys here. Feel free. Christmas is coming up. I know there's some people out there, all I want is an Irish Hotspur membership. You can make their dream come true. You can gift it to them. Or if you really want to make your comments stand out, or if there's anything you think we haven't discussed, feel free, put it in. If you want to make it stand out, super chat it. And, we have to sit here and address it. So it's up to you guys if that's what you want to do. But we'll start with the midfield. We'll start with you on this one. Dermo, the number 6 role, who's better suited and why? Bentancur or Basuma?
I'm going to go for Basuma, because I think Basuma has something to prove after all what he's been through. And I think Basuma, I agree with Spurs diehards here, that Basuma is a better number 6. And I think the way he's been playing since his incident, and I think the way he's come back and he's trying to rebuild the trust with Ange and the group and with the fans, I think Basuma's a better choice for me. And he's been playing well in the last few games as well. So keep that momentum going with him. Keep playing him, because he owes us the performances. He owes us an apology for the little misdemeanor he got up to. And it's sort of redemption for him. It's sort of his redemption of giving something back to us, what we gave to him. So Basuma for me all day long. I start Basuma 6 all day long.
You're on mute there, Dave.
Yeah, sorry. So you've gone with Basuma in the number 6. Very interesting call there. Gear says, hi guys, watch it up, but never comment. Isn't Bentancur, I love that name, suspended, or what's going on with his ban? I don't think he's suspended yet. I think they're sort of in the process of, trying to sort all this out and then come to a conclusion. But until then, he can't play, Gear. But good to see you, and don't be afraid to comment. Don't be shy. We don't bite. Feel free to get your comments in on whatever it is you want to get off your chest. We like to call it therapy. I might even change the channel name to Tottenham Therapy, to be brutally honest with you, because I feel like that's what it is for you guys out there, and that's what it is for us as well. So, I might even change the Tottenham name to channel name to Tottenham Therapy. I probably won't, but I'm only taking the piss. But it is therapy for all of us. But Jose, a lot of people have gone with Bentancur. Bentancur is a better 6. Bentancur is more reliable and a better all-round player. There's another one here from Alex Apostolou, nearly at Postacoglu there. Just a couple of letter changes in there, Alex, and we found Postacoglu's son. He says bench is the best six we have. Biss is not quite there yet, but was strong last time out. So, and Adrian Chia, I believe, says Bissouma. So, for you, who do you think is the better number six and why?
People on playing at the limit, right? In the midfield at Tottenham, any midfielder at Tottenham, people playing on the limit, the best midfielder we've got at Tottenham is Bentancur, for me. And as a six, Bentancur is really easy. Bentancur presses, Bentancur wins the ball, Bentancur releases the ball straight away, whether it's left-footed or right-footed. He then plays people straight away so that them, he doesn't do, against Brentford, he didn't do his ball carrying. He won the ball back, released it straight away. Momentum with us. We start attacking. So for me, it's I just think Bissouma, we haven't got the Bissouma, and we've not seen the Bissouma, and he's been here for a couple of years now, but we've not seen the Bissouma that Brighton had. Brighton have rubbed their hands with glee. The closest Premiership team to where I live is Brighton. It's about 30 odd miles away.
Can I ask you on that though, Jose, just quickly? Is that Bissouma's fault or Tottenham's fault? Because I'm trying to work out, is it the step up and level that, maybe Bissouma's struggling with and some of the, his antics outside of football, or is it the club's fault? Because there is a history of players that come to the club, especially in recent years, and he was signed, in and around that, or maybe just after that, of players that come to Tottenham and never fulfill their potential. Whose fault is that?
Well, he had baggage when he was at Brighton as well. As I was just about to say, I played with a load of Brighton guys.
Enjoy the pub, let's know.
When I played during the week, I played with a load of Brighton supporters as well, and they all say that they got the best deal out of it. He's not played anywhere near what he played for as he played for Brighton. When he played at Brighton, they played a double pivot. It was him and Caicedo that played a double pivot at Brighton. And obviously, when he's come to Tottenham, for whatever reason, Conte said that he wasn't ready. Conte said that he needed to learn how to play in a certain way and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, Conte's gone. Bissouma gets his chance, and just giving Bissouma his chance. Last season, Bissouma let us down more often than not with the chances that he was given. Silly red cards last season. He picked up silly yellows. For all the misdemeanors he'd done, he missed a load of games for us last year. At the end of the day, it's not down to the club. It's down to the player. The player, if selected, if the player is selected, it's the player that plays. It's not the manager. It's not the fans. It's the player that plays. And then also as well with the player, if you've got to be all in. You've got to want to wear that shirt. You've got to be want to be wearing it with pride. And I'm not sure what we've seen from him at all since he's come to us. When he gets his chances, and you really think to yourself, we really need him now. So when we lost Bentancur again for injury again last season, we really looked to Bissouma. We really needed Bissouma to step up, and I don't feel he had. Bentancur has come back this season. People make whatever happened in the summer, he's going to get sanctioned for that. Whatever happened in the summer, but I feel that the reason why Bentancur is playing better now is because he's coming to terms, coming back from that injury. I did say all last season with Bentancur that you're not going to see the Bentancur of old. Every minute that he gets on the pitch will be a blessing for himself and for us going forward in the future, because it's building up his strength and it's building up his in his headspace, because he's got that injury. He's always going to be worried about the injury. So everything that was going on, every minute that he got to play was always going to be a plus for us. Obviously, he did get some game time in the Copa America as well, which is more minutes in his legs. And we know what happened there as well. But now he's come back to the club. I think Bentancur is playing slightly different for us, because Bentancur of Conte, he would be the man that led the press, and he'd do all these other different things. He's had to play differently under Postecoglou. But for me, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it's inside Bissouma's head. There's a lot that comes with Bissouma, and it's not just Bissouma. Let's face it. When I played football, we didn't have all this social media crap and stuff like that. So you concentrated on your game. Well, you concentrated on your game, and outside you concentrated on your women, so to speak. But now they've got, we got to be on Instagram. I've got to be on TikTok. I've got to be, I've got to be seen to be doing this. I've got to be seen to be promoting that, And at the end of the day, I just think that with Basuma, a lot of the time, the way he comes across is that he's got more interest outside, and he's getting paid a pretty penny to play football. He's just got more interest outside the game. I'd like to have a 150% Basuma concentrating on the club and concentrating on his football, but I'm not sure that we're getting that, and I'm not sure whether we will get it. I think, for one, in all honesty, that wherever we've finished this season, and however we do this season, I think Basuma's one of them ones that will be going out of the club next summer, and will be actively seeking either the youngsters to come through or looking for different players to replace him next season.
Be interesting to see with Basuma. I do think, he has to have a massive season this season, because there was a bit of speculation around his future over the summer, if I remember correctly. I do think he has to have a huge, season this season. I hope with Bentancur sort of there, that, it sort of gives him maybe that rocket up the arse, that competition that maybe he needs to keep on it, that motivation that he needs to keep on it. I feel like last year his position was almost guaranteed, whereas this year it's not. There's a bit of pressure on it, and hopefully it sort of recalibrates Basuma a little and helps him focus a little bit more on football instead of some of the other stuff. But I think we've actually got a really good problem, Jack. I think we've got two very good players in that position, both offer different sort of qualities. What's your thoughts on the situation right now with the two players, and who do you think is actually better suited to that role, and why?
Just quickly, Dave, I know that you did already make the call for it, but Dave and I, we aren't very good at the maths, but there are practically 530 people in the house, and there are only 160 likes from what I can tell. So, like I said, Dave and I aren't very good at the maths, but I do think
even Stevie Wonder would know that.
And if you can for us, if you do enjoy the streams, do smash it for us. It just helps out with getting more of these type of streams, more of these previews out to more and more Spurs fans across this Spurs YouTube neck of the woods. On to Basuma and Bentancur. I'm gonna go for both. I love that comment from someone that you starred earlier in the chat saying, why not both? I'd go for both.
Soul Sniper, I think it is.
Yeah, why not both? I'd go for both. I think with Basuma, though, my feeling is that I can see why people call him more of a box-to-box, because he just loves to take it forward. When he gets the opportunity, he likes to drive with the ball. He likes to, take it past one or two players, take some players out of the game with that lovely bit of skill that he has with his feet. It's just that when you reach the final third, I feel like Bentancur does have a tad bit more to offer than Basuma. Basuma does tend to just, he had a banger, of course, against Everton. But most of the time for me with Basuma, it feels like it just sails over the bar, or he ends up kind of making a mistake, maybe in kind of an area that you don't really want to if you're kind of one of the deeper lying players. And I think if he's just given that responsibility of being more defensively focused, more defensive minded, playing a bit deeper, I think that helps out the team a bit more. I'm not sure if that helps out Basuma more. I could see again why people do prefer him to be given that box to box number 8 type role. It's just that Bentancur for me actually has a better chance of scoring goals than Basuma does. I think Bentancur offers more in the air. He does have that tendency to win a header pretty often. And then we've seen before under Antonio Conte, where if Bentancur gets in the box, he does have a decent finish on him from time to time. He does tend to come up with a scrappy goal here and there, whichever way he can do it. Whereas
can I ask you a question, Jack?
Yeah.
Just off the back of that, because just before I forget, how forgetful I am. Basuma, people say was better at Brighton because he was box to box, and me and you sort of agree with Bentancur. In that Conte role, he was box to box, and he was sort of better. Do we actually have a problem where two of them are actually better suited to the number 8 role, and we actually do need to maybe bring in a specialized number 6 then?
Yes and no. Like, I feel like we do have two players that are probably better suited for being the number 8. It's just that in order to play football, in order to play minutes, you need to sometimes make a sacrifice or make an adjustment. You might have to look at it and think, you know what, I prefer playing as a number 8, but this guy next to me is just as good as me as a number 8, if not better. I think that's the case for me with Bentancur. I actually think he's just slightly better than Basuma in the number 8 role than or Bentancur is slightly better, just because I feel like he technically has a better chance of scoring if need be.
Fair.
Whereas Basuma, for me, I just don't see him actually scoring as many goals as he probably should if he was given that responsibility to get up and down. but he has more of that laxness or that freedom, just that love of playing the game, that he likes to venture forward. He likes to create a 1-2. He likes to create a combination of players off of the striker and make a run beyond them. But I think one of them needs to make that sacrifice. One of them needs to realize that if I want to play a lot of minutes, if I want to be a vital player to the Ange Postecoglou system, I might have to make that adjustment, might have to make that sacrifice and be more the number 6. So if one of them can't do it, if one of them can't make that adjustment, they can't adapt and become more of a number 6, then we will need to go after one in the market. We will need to look to the transfer market this summer or this winter window. But I'm going to give one of them that chance, one of them that opportunity to see if they can make that adjustment, if they can make that transition to more of a number 6, even though I agree with you that both of them are probably better suited to be number 8s. It's just I have the opinion that I think Bentancur is a slightly better number 8 than Bissouma is, just because if you are going to be allowed to go box to box, if you are going to be allowed to get up and down the pitch like Ange Postecoglou wants you to, I think you need to offer a decent goal threat, and I would argue Bentancur is a better goal threat.
No, I think he is a better goal threat. Look, he scores goals for Tottenham from that midfield. He's a threat from set pieces, and he's calm and composed on the ball. I do agree with you there. I think Bissouma is more of a chaos merchant where he can run at players, dribble, take a few out of the game and stuff like that. But sometimes, I think the end product off the back of that good work maybe lets him down a little. And I do think that's one area of his game that he definitely needs to improve. But I do think we've got 2 really good midfielders there. I would potentially look at bringing in a proper number 6 though in the summer, and using Bissouma and Bentancur accordingly in the midfield after that. If one has to take the bench, it's a great player to bring off the bench. It sort of strengthens us. But most people make the case, use as much as Bentancur now as you can get, before the suspension comes. And I think that's also, very, very true. We want to try and save some minutes and have people available for when he's missing. And, people are absolutely spot on there. We definitely should. Good to see 24Z in here as well. He says, how you feeling about no sun, Dave and Jack? Just 1 second, 24C. I'll answer that. Paddy Villa has become a new YouTube member. Big up, Paddy.
Thank you, Paddy.
Paddy Harney's growing strong. Paddy Higgins, Paddy Harney, Paddy Villa. Great last name as well. I really appreciate you becoming a member, my man. Hopefully you enjoy yourself around here in the community. There are a lot of member-only streams that we do, some live, some pre-records when we get around to it. The pre-records more so come out when we have a bit more time, like international breaks, but we do live shows for the members that are live exclusively to members, Fantasy League, all that sort of stuff. So Paddy Villa, make sure you get involved in that, and make sure you join the Fantasy League, lad. Pick yourself up.
Really appreciate you, buddy. And thanks for grabbing the membership, becoming a Flat Cap member. Just like Dave said, look out for the members exclusive content. And in case you didn't know that, anybody that is watching, there are members only live streams before every game where Dave and I just crack each other's heads open, look into the game, give each other our anxieties, our hopes, our fears before every game. And we also chat back and forth between ourselves and the members. So feel free to do that if you're missing out on any extra previews. But thank you very much for the support.
Thank you, sir. Big up, Paddy. Really appreciate that. 24C, you don't interrupt, my man. Look, me and Jack, we do try to take as many comments and engage, the people watching and their comments in with what we're trying to talk about. It is sort of a conscious effort that we try to do with this channel from day one. So, not at all. If you've got questions, put them in there and we'll try and answer as many as we can. That's what we try and do. But look, I don't think it's ideal. Don't get me wrong. Son did look every bit tired against Karabakh, out of possession as well as in possession. The North London derby didn't have his best out in either. And I do think there's a direct correlation between us going to Korea on pre-season tour and Sonny looking jaded at this part of the season. If you go back to Antonio Conte, we had a pre-season tour out in South Korea. And again, he was jaded for, I think, this part of the season up until October, November, when he really sort of maybe clawed it back, to after that period. And I think it's just purely because Son's a giving person. He's a really good guy. He doesn't say no to anybody. You see videos always of people outside the training ground. You always see him and only him walking out to sign things, walking through airports, giving up his time to people. And it's an absolute great trait to have. But I do think going out on these preseason tours in future, they're going to have to get other players to start picking up the slack and stuff like that. I think we put too much on Son, and he comes back from these absolutely knackered, and we pay the price on the football pitch for a commercial adventure, which pisses me off. And that does need to change. And it's nothing against Son, and I have no problems with us going out the preseason tour, in South Korea again. I just want to see other people pick up more media duties, more signing on days, and doing a lot more, and club even saying sometimes no to things for Son, so that he has a bit of recuperation time as well while he's out there. So big up 24C. But in terms of on the football pitch today, even if Son's not at his best, he's a game winner. He's a game changer. He has that moment in him. And that's why even when he's not at his best, he's out there till 90 minutes, because it doesn't matter who we have in charge. They're going to keep leaving your world-class players out there, hoping that they have that split moment to be able to change the game. And I think it's a huge blow. If you look in this squad now, he's got the most goals and assists, the most potency against Man United. So I think it's a huge loss today. However, for the player that's stepping in, it's a huge opportunity gain for one of them. It's a big game against Man United. This is going to be on TV all over the world. The coverage that Man United get, there's going to be so much media attention off this game, so much breakdown off the fallout of whatever result, where this sort of result lies, because of the big scrutiny that comes around Man United. If I'm a player and I get my opportunity out on the left-hand side today, or I'm the one that steps in to replace Sonny, I am absolutely licking my lips, because if I go out there and put in a performance, the whole world is going to have their attention on me. Everyone's going to be asking questions, why I'm not getting more minutes, stuff like that. So for me, it's a huge opportunity if I'm that player. And I hopefully one of them have that similar sort of mindset and take that opportunity. But big up 24C. And then I'll just quickly take this from Tyler. Josh Tyler, and big up Darmo Renewing. He's gifted out one Irish Hotspur membership. Give me 1 second, Darmo.
The musings of a football fan. Thank you very much, Dermotron.
Nice. Big up, Darmo. Really appreciate that, brother. Top man. Thank you very, very much. And then I'm going to ask people who should step in as captain today, because we've got Vicario, we've got Madison and Romero, and then we'll have the lineups coming out. And then off the back of that, I just want a quick question maybe around Solanke and Johnson's return to form. Joseph Tyler says, do you guys think since Basuma's moved to Spurs, he lost that focus thinking he made it? Because at Brighton on a regular basis, he was a nightmare to play against. I don't think... Look, part of me worries about players coming to Tottenham, any player, any coach or any manager, because the London lifestyle is a real thing. You go back to Tarap. Harry Redknapp is famous for talking about it, in terms of all the ability in the world, but the London lifestyle, got hold of him. He was constantly sitting in shisha bars and stuff like that after training. So he openly says this himself, sitting there in shisha bars when he should be, going home and getting rest and stuff like that. The London lifestyle can take hold of people very, very quickly. Him out, with the balloon is not good. It sort of lends credence to that argument. But he was in hot water at Brighton. It wasn't him that done anything, but the people he was associating with and he was out with were landed in hot water, which then puts that then on him and his camp. So it is a continuous problem. And look, I get it, right? They're human beings. It doesn't matter what job you are. You're under pressure. You like to go out and let off some steam, blow off some steam. But unfortunately, when you're someone like Basuma, you got to be a bit more smart with what you're doing, unfortunately. And that comes with the territory. And I don't think he helps himself in that regard. I think he's a fantastic player. But I was saying on the member stream only the other day, I just fear that he's never really going to fulfill his potential unless he really sort of sits down and knuckles down and focuses for a year or two. Because if he does, and we get that Basuma that played the first 10 games last season, we get that Basuma that turned up at their away ground in the North London derby last season in the 2-2 win, we've got one of a world beater on our hands. He could be similar to a Moussa Dembele in terms of a ball carrier and stuff like that, if he chooses to be. And it's only him that can do that. Let's wait and see what happens there, Joseph Tyler. But big yourself up, my man. But guys, we do have a comment here from Keith Rayard. He says, who will be captain today? We'll start with you on this one, Jack, and work our way around. Guys, we've 2 minutes, so try and keep them quick if we can, so I can get the lineups up on screen on time.
Okay, no problem. I'm going to go for... This is crazy. I'm going to go for Romero, because I think Romero has had his head either slightly turned or he just hasn't been fully focused this season. But I wonder if you just give him that trust, that you just say to him, listen, I'm giving you the captain's armband. I've made you one of the original leaders of this squad. yeah, here's your chance to lead this team to a win today, lead this team to glory. I think Romero would take that. I think he would take that opportunity. I think he would go into it fully focused. I think he would hold others accountable. And I think he would put in the best performance that he can. Or I would give it to Vicario, because I think Vicario is actually the future captain probably
Wow.
for this team. I think he has probably the most leadership-like qualities. It's just that Vicario doesn't have the status in the game, I think, to demand respect, kind of like Sonny does, like Kane does. That's what Kane and Sonny had. They were captains because they're successful players who have done it on a regular basis, who you look at for like world-class quality. And I just don't think Vicario has proven that on a regular basis yet in his career. Romero has done that. And I think he also has that sort of bite and that sort of nastiness and that kind of courage, that bravery in his game that I think would inspire others. It's just you don't see him as much as being a vocal leader in the team. And so I'm a little split on it, but I think I might give it to Romero for this time, just for this time only, because I think he might take that. He might be inspired by that, and he'll go on and have a really good performance for us because of that. And we've seen him before. He's gotten riled up for these games, right? He gave Harry Maguire a ton of shit after he scored an own goal and things like that. So I think Romero, he'd go into it with a ton of good adrenaline, a good energy about him. And I think that could inspire the rest of the team. So I'm going to go with Romero.
Interesting choice. Darmo, quickly, my man, who do you want to be as captain?
I'm going for Romero, because I think he's like our Roy Keane type player. That's what we need today. So Romero for me.
Jose?
It can be one. It can toss of a coin, really, isn't it? But I would say I would go for Romero as well over Maddison today.
Fair enough. Well, on in terms of captaincy. And then I do have a couple of chats there. I'll get to them in just a moment. So the lineup is as Vicario starts in goals. Pedro Porro at right back. Romero captains the side in Sonny's absent, with Van de Ven beside him and Destiny Doji, the back line we all expected. In midfield, he has gone with Bentancur, Maddison, and Kulusevski, which means Johnson on the right, Timo Werner on the left-hand side with Solanke up top. And on the substitutes bench, it's Fraser Forster, Jedi Spectacular, Radu Dragusin, Archie Gray, Yves Bissouma, Bergval, Sarr, Moore, and Lancashire, which I presume the likes of Sarr, Bergval and Bissouma will be brought off the bench, to maybe bring a bit more dynamism, a bit more legs, inject the fresher energy into the game a bit later on in the game. But that's the lineup. I mean, a lot of people did not want to see Timo Werner. I'm going to give the boys just 2 moments to sort of recollect themselves before we get on and get their thoughts. But we've got Rick in Brighton says, member for 13 months, really appreciate support, buddy. Sonny's not fit. I'm saying Timo 2 assists today. And someone else put in the comments says if Werner scores today, the whole fan base will go ballistic. And that's the thing. No matter how much I don't like the guy, and I think he's been piss poor since we signed him, I don't think he solves any sort of issues. If he scores, I've got a song in the waiting, and I will sit there and sing it shamelessly. I just want to see us win games today. And maybe a part of it is that we're going to try and play a ball across the midfield, suck United in, look to play them in behind. But, I mean, my concern is that Werner doesn't know where the target is. Hopefully he finds that at Old Trafford tonight. There's a big waterfall behind the goal. He can't fucking miss it. So let's wait and see what happens, Rick in Brighton. But look, nonetheless, he's out there now, and I got to root for him to play well. I'm not going to sit there and go, I hope he plays shit so he proves my point. I don't. I want him to score goals. I want him to assist goals so I can sit there shamelessly happy, clap him, sing his song, and so that we can go and get the victory. Big up, Rick in Brighton. Really appreciate the support, brother. And then we have 5 Irish Hotspur memberships gifted out by Reckless Madness. Just before I get the names, he says, good morning, Dave, Jack, Jose, and guest Jose. How is your shin? Love to the Irish Hotspur and hoping for a big day for us. Come on, you Spurs. Before we get Jose's update on his shin, Jack, do you have the names?
Yes.
The lucky recipients of Alan's generosity.
Thank you so much, Alan. Gamer for Life 1989 has been gifted one by Alan. Kev Williams, big up Kev Williams. Thanks for becoming a member again through our lovely man, Alan. And then Adrian Parker as well. Kelly Snow, great name, has been gifted a membership as well. And then the International Observer has been gifted one. by Alan. Big up Rakdos Madness. We actually recently were mentioning you on some fantasy streams. We're doing pretty well in the Draft Fantasy League, by the way, sir. And we really appreciate you just spreading the love, spreading the community memberships, and making the community even bigger, even larger. And so thank you so much, Alan. Been missing you on the fan shows. I know you're a busy guy, and I also know that you're over on the West Coast like myself, so it's not always the most convenient of times, maybe the fan shows, but we have been missing you. Hopefully we get to see you sometime soon. If not, feel free to send in a fan cam. We'd love to get your post-match thoughts. Like, again, if you have the time for it, if you are around to do so, love to get you involved on that. And thank you so much, Alan, for spreading the love and just being so kind to Dave and I. You've been very, very good to us since we've been having you on the channel. So big up to you, Alan. Hopefully you're feeling confident today. I'm still feeling confident despite Timo Werner being on the pitch and Sonny being gone. I just have a feeling today, Alan. I just have a feeling that we're going to get a good performance today.
No, honestly, big up Rakdos Madness. Really appreciate that, guys. Check over his channel as well. Team Tottenham, go get over there, smash the subscribe on that, and really appreciate the generosity, my man. Absolute legend. We have Elvis G. Good to see you in the house. Hopefully you're keeping well. Hopefully you're keeping well, lad. We've got musings of football. I wouldn't mind if you use that pace to get past the man and play a ball to someone, but you can't even do that. No, you can't, but let's hope he does. I think Kev Williams says, question, Dave and Jack, how do you do the members' gifts?
You have to do it through the computer for some reason, not through your phone. I think on your phone, for some reason, you just can't do it, but on the computer, you could do it if you're so generous to do that. Thank you, Kev.
Absolute legend. Big up, Kev, on that one, my man. And by the way, Al, it's Jose's hair is the problem today. He's that's the issue today, not the shin, my man. We've moved on from the shin. It's the hair problem today. I'm only messing. But guys, let's go through the lineup. I mean, not through the lineup, but let's get your thoughts on the lineup. We'll start with you on this one, Jose, and work our way back up. We'll also get you to plug yourself and give your score prediction, as we go through it, Jose. But I mean, what's your thoughts on the lineup?
As I said earlier, I think we've got some consistency. We know who the three in midfield are going to be, and the three favoured front three is going to be. And I said, for me, for consistency purposes, earlier, I said you just take out Son and you replace someone in Son's place. I wouldn't have changed the midfield. He's done that. But the person I was asking for was Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore's not starting. He's put Werner in there. And at the end of the day, it doesn't surprise me. It's not what I wanted, but it doesn't surprise me. I obviously wanted Moore to start there, but the rest of the team for me picks itself on recent performances and on balance picks itself. I would just hope that when we empty the bench, so to speak, I'm hoping that we're in a position to empty the bench, and when we empty the bench, that we do get to see Mikey Moore. And Solanke played a whole game the other night as well, and I'd like to see Lancashire come off the bench as well and give him some minutes. I was hoping that he'd get minutes against Karabag. Now, I know he's just come back from injury, but when they said there was only 3 minutes of injury time and we still could make one substitution, I was hoping that Lancashire would just come on, because it must be, how much does it give these boys, how much energy and enthusiasm and going forward does it give them for their careers, knowing that they got their first minutes of first team football under their belts? So yeah, I'm hoping that we're in a good position to empty the bench, and that these youngsters do get given an opportunity and get some minutes today. As for a score, I predicted on Friday that we would win 2-0. I am the master of clean sheets. I love a clean sheet, and I'm hoping for a clean sheet. But I'm going for a 2-0 victory to Tottenham. I back my team all day long and all year long and for my life. So 2-0 to Tottenham is what I'm going for. And
2-0 and a clean sheet. Absolutely love that.
I'm clean sheet king. I always go for a clean sheet if possible.
Why aren't you confident enough to go 6-1? Is that because Werner's in the lineup? You don't believe we'll score 6 with him in the team, or?
Well, yeah, but if we score 6, we're conceding 1. I don't want to concede a goal. Look, to be honest, in all honesty to everybody today, right? I don't care if we win 1-0 or 6-0. Yeah, we all want to see the goals. We want to see goals flying in and that. But to me, it's the most important part of today is the 3 points. It's that W. We need to get a W on the board today, and that's the most important. So whether it's 1-0 or 5-0, we need the win. But my prediction is 2-0. Yeah, if anyone wants to search me up or have a look at me or whatever on my channel, I'm El Tel Coquerel, aka Jose.
Please get over there, guys. Show him a lot of love.
And can I say
be
thank you?
nice to the
Sorry.
community over there. Go on.
Thank you to Dave and Jack for having me on, and to Dermot. It's always a pleasure with Dermot as well. And thank you to everybody in the chat. You all make this show absolutely brilliant. And you should, if you haven't done so already, you need to subscribe to the Irish Hotspur. And if you haven't become a member, do what Dermot and I have done and become members. And as many of you have done already, become members, because these guys provide absolutely superb content, unparalleled, not managed by anybody else. Doesn't provide the content that this channel does, and they do members only shows, and they do go above and beyond. So please carry on supporting the Irish Hotspur.
Very kind, Jose.
I appreciate that. Very kind of you, my man. And guys, please get over there. Show the same love over there to El Cockerel. Smash that subscribe button. It's a channel that, I think is underrated in the community. And, it's one that it seems to be growing very, very steadily. So get over there and be a part of it and smash that subscribe button and show him a lot of love over there. And he does a lot of like Premier League predictions and stuff like that. So if that's your sort of jazz, get over there and join in the fun over there. But big up, Jose. Really appreciate that. Dermotron, what's your thoughts on the lineup today, and where can people find you on your score predictions?
I just have a look at the lineup. Sorry, I just have a look because you took it down there.
I'll put it back up.
Yeah.
What were you watching? What were you looking at the last 20 minutes?
I was watching the lineup. I was giving my full attention to Jose, giving him my full attention. I didn't want to, see disrespectful to the man above me. I had to give him my full attention. So I'm also, I'm old, so I'm going to forget stuff. So just bear with me.
You don't have your reading glasses on, no?
No, I don't. I'm also old. I'm nearly 50, Dave. Give me a chance, all right? I'm starting to lose that. I'm going grey and I'm losing my marbles. So just give us a minute. I'm old. Look, it's the lineup we all expected. I'm not happy with Werner. I would have put somebody different there, but it is what it is. Look, I think we've got to support it. We've got supporters out there at the 11. I do agree with you. I think subs, they will bring them on. My man Johnson, look, I've been critical of Johnson. I'm still his biggest fan and his #1 fan. I have a right to be critical of him, but I've never wavered in my support for him. But it's been constructive criticism. But I'm still, I feel like I want to get at my inner Muhammad Ali. I told you he will come back. I told you. And none of you all laughed at me. All you said I was talking shite.
You all laughed
but I told you. I told you he'll come back, and he has come back with 3-3, and he's going to get 4-4 today. I'm going to stick with my match day prediction. I'm going to go for 3-0, 4-0. I know I went for 2-0 in the match day, and I was being a bit little delusional.
I expect you to go 1 or 2 goals better come 2 hours come an hour before the game. It sort of gets you carried away. I love it.
Feck it. I'm going for 5-0 away. We're going to smash them. We're going to smash them out of the park. Johnson with a few, Solanke with 2, and then Madders with 1. And Romero to get sent off because that's what happens, So that will cap it all off. And if you like what I have to say, and you like a bit of delusionness, and you like a bit of fun, and you like serious Tottenham talk as well, please come out to HFC till I die. We're still trying to get to 2K. I probably will be 90 and in my retirement home by the time we get there. But if we can get there between now and the retirement home for me, please just get us there. I would love that. And please do like and subscribe here to lads as well. These are lads that gave me my break in YouTube and gave the confidence to do what I do. And I'm very lucky to have them as personal friends as well. Both been brothers, been there for me in my darkest hour. There was a few people, and these two were really there for me in my darkest hour. And they've seen me, they've patched me back together with all the rest of the people there, and they've put me on the road to where I am now. So, guys, I'll never forget, and I never will forget what you two done for me back in them days. And please like and subscribe to this channel, because it is a great community. It's a family, and that's what we are. We are a family, and but just do it on my channel first, then these like seconds. But
might not be able to fit my head through the door with all these compliments. I thought Valentine's Day was in February, but look, I'll take it all today, guys. Really do appreciate it. But honestly, and I'm not sure a nursing home would accept you, Dermot. Probably, they'd look at you and go, he's a rule breaker. We're not having him in here. He causes too much trouble. But honestly, guys, Dermot, he's an absolute legend. Please do get over there. Check out his channel, THFC Till I Die. He gives me a lot of joy during the week, a lot of laughs on that. So really do appreciate it. And he's got a lot of good things to say. Don't agree with everything. And I do think we need a VAR check on the whole Johnson scenario. That's one thing. Might have to go and, do a bit of VAR research on that one. And we'll come back with a definitive conclusion for you after the international break. But please get over there, help Dermot get to the 2K and smash that subscribe button. And we've got this from Faz Radfire 3-1 Spurs says bring more on at halftime. If Werner is shit again, 100% get him on at halftime. I don't know why. I just have a feeling at some point you're going to see Kulusevski moved out to the left with Basuma coming into the midfield. You might have to wait for more a bit later on. But again, I do think it's down to these senior players. We've seen last week, once we got the third goal, which was late on, Angelo Postecoglou did sort of bring on, Mikey Moore and that later on in the game. So I do think, it is up to some of these senior players to go and get a comfortable win so that they can get more minutes off the bench. I mean, if Solanke would have took that opportunity earlier, Moore might have actually got a lot more minutes. But look, Timo Werner starting today, despite my thoughts on him. I want to be proven wrong today by Timo Werner. I want him to go and score goals, assists. And you know what? Just be a constant thorn in Man United's ass, just like Rashford is to mine. Every time we play against them, he's a pain in my ass. He goes and scores or has a worldie, despite what shit form he's on before that. So hopefully, Timo Werner can sort of garner the same sort of energy for today's game. Fazzy, big yourself up, my man. And not at the stadium today, I don't think, but big yourself up, my man. And then we've got this from Mr. Williams. I only have the phone, so here's a Snapchat. What's your honest thoughts on Romero? He silly errors in the game. I hope he irons them out. Come on, you Spurs. Really appreciate the support, Kev Williams. You didn't need to do that. I really do appreciate it, brother. Every little does help. We starting to sound like Tesco's now. God love us. But thoughts on Romero? Don't get me wrong, right? If you're a player and Real Madrid come calling, it's going to turn your head. I don't care who you are. It's going to turn your head, And when Real Madrid come calling, you go. That's just the way it is. And, you always have one eye on that, knowing that there's sort of there's attention around you. But I do think a large part of Romero's problems heading into this season was the fact that, we only got him back for the Bayern Munich game before the season started, which is not ideal. One game, it's not ideal. And I do think, he's had to use the first sort of Premier League games to get back to full sharpness, get back to full fitness, which is not ideal. And I think within that, it's become costly. Romero switching off and all that sort of stuff, that comes through tiredness because he's using them games and the intensity of them games, which is a lot different building up your fitness over pre-season and trying to use the Premier League games to do it. Two complete different intensities. You got players running off you, players pressing you. And I think that's the unfortunate situation Romero's found himself in this season. And, this guy's had a couple of long years going the distance in the Copa America, going the distance in the World Cup, where others have come back from these competitions early and stuff like that. So I think the problem's probably twofold. However, do I think Ron Baum's going to let me down this season? Nope, not whatsoever. I think it was only under Conte the start of the season, people again questioning Eric or questioning Romero. Last season again, earlier on in the season, people questioning Romero. And then this guy goes, give me more, please give me more abuse, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there for the rest of the season and show you how great I am. So, for me, I think he's going to do the exact same this time around, Kev Williams. Jack, what's your quick thoughts on it?
Yeah, with Romero, I can see why there's criticism for him. I've had criticism for him. I don't think he's been entirely switched on this season. At times, he's looked like he's given up maybe a little bit in certain moments where he's looking tired or he's just not fully focused or fully concentrated. I agree with Dave. Maybe a little bit of it has to do with his head being turned, but more likely it has to do with the fact that he's just played a lot of football and he's been traveling all about the world for the last year or two, and he just hasn't really been given that proper chance to rest. And he even himself probably hasn't given himself that chance to rest because he's just thrown himself back in there in the starting lineup and in the team on a regular basis. And so he's maybe feeling the effects of that, lack of rest to a degree. But I feel like in Romero's game, though, is that we know that he is a quality player. At least I believe he is. And I think if we give him that trust, if we, show him that we still believe in him, that we still trust him by giving him the captaincy today, I think that could actually reap some rewards. Maybe he'll be able to put in a more concentrated, full 90 minutes of a performance, and we could be the beneficiaries of that if he does end up, really delivering as a leader as well as just a quality performance. So I'm hoping that Romero puts in a good one for us. And this is kind of comes with it, as much as he struggled. I think Ange Postecoglou is showing his faith in Romero, that he believes in him, that he believes in his leadership abilities. And even today as well, he'll lead by example, right? You got to go to battle. You got to go to war against a team like Man United, especially in a game like this where 3 points would be really massive for our momentum, really massive for the confidence of everyone. And Romero just needs to be that guy that can lead us to victory by his own sort of example. And I think he can do that today. But yes, he has come under criticism, and rightfully so, in my opinion, this season.
Big up, Kev Williams, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother. And hopefully that answers your question, my man. But get your own thoughts on it in the chat there as well. Absolute legend. And Tim Man 007 is always good to see you, sir. Says now that I have just seen Werner starting, I have very little hope. This guy is useless. Look, I think many Spurs fans, like even myself, I'm the exact same, lad. Look, my thoughts on it when we signed the guy from, last January and then doubled down on it again this summer. Absolutely shocking. But the end of the day, it's done. He's out there, and all we can do is sit here and hope to him, man, that at some point, the guy's going to do something. So hopefully there's no better day than today. But guys, we are going to end off. I need to go and get my my shampoo, shower gel, conditioner, shower hat, back scrubber, because we are going up to the old Trafford, the theatre of streams tonight. So I'm just going to get myself ready. I can combine watching the football with having a shower with that waterfall at their stadium. I'm absolutely pumped. Cannot wait for the game. And hopefully we can get all 3 points today, a massive 3 points. That would be absolutely brilliant. We really need this to validate the project and really sort of kick on with some real momentum behind us. Beating the 3 teams we bet is great, but I expect to beat them. I don't expect to win. Go out there, prove me wrong. Jose, before we end off, you put your hand up.
2 things quickly. Sonny, everyone said about Sonny that he's on the wane and stuff like that. Well, today is the first game that he's going to be missing. So we will see what we're like without Sonny. The other thing is, can you tell me what all this Liam Delap stuff is? Is he in your fantasy team?
No, I just have a good eye for young players. And I said he's going to surprise a lot of people.
He scored a second goal.
I knew he would. I think we actually had him in our draft fantasy team, and I think we traded him. I think we need to get him back. But
Did he? Was he Man City?
Yeah, he's Man City. Yeah,
he's Man City. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
okay.
No, I just really like him, and I seen him for the first game of the season up front for them. Real handful, big guy, athletic, strong. I like the build of the guy, I like the jib of the guy, and I like what he's about. And I was actually said I have a feeling he's going to do something against Aston Villa today, and he has. So I'm absolutely delighted with that. And maybe one for Spurs to keep an eye on. Or maybe Spurs need to go to that Man City academy. You got Cole Palmer now, you got Liam Delap. Who's the next one that's going to come out of there? But guys, absolute big game today. Like I said, get ready for the water park. Get your Air Max on. It's going to be a wet afternoon. Hopefully a winning afternoon as well, because winners are winners. We'll see you back here. Oh, if you want to hear mine and Jack's thoughts on the lineup, tune back in for the watch along. In half an hour's time, you'll get our thoughts there. We'll also probably sit there and give Brennan Johnson and Solanke a little bit of praise. I know that might shock some of you, consider my views on the guys. However,
we'll need them today.
Yeah, and when it's warranted, I'll do it. So, guys, see you back here in half an hour time. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
We never stop. Get the sandballs made. Get the beers out. Come on.
Come on, Tottenham. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.